Hey, happy Coffee Talk Monday. Dr. Michelle coming at ya. How are you? How's your weekend? I had a pretty good weekend. It always goes so fast. It always feels like Monday or Friday. I don't know what happens to those middle days of the week, but whew. Today I want to talk about having a cluttered mind and slash multitasking. It's always a pretty big topic, and it's been coming up a lot lately with clients. So I thought maybe I'd share a little bit of information around it with you, because I thought it might be helpful. Because this time of the year, things tend to get a little crazy and busy, and cluttered mind and multitasking, trying to get like a lot of things done, right? Yeah. So having a cluttered mind is a challenge, because with so many things going on in your brain can't focus on what it needs to do. And it's hard to stay motivated when your brain is cluttered, because your brain is all over the place. So having a cluttered mind can be problematic. I often relate it to having a cluttered space, cluttered desk. And I know there's going to be some of you out there that say, I work better with a cluttered desk. Do you? Maybe, but I would challenge you on that. So having a cluttered mind doesn't really free you up to get things done efficiently and effectively, right? If you're trying to get things done, but you're in your head, then you're in your head and you're not getting things done. I also relate that back to kind of multitasking, and they're sort of similar, right? Multitasking is kind of the same thing that we're talking about, right? Like cluttered mind, lots going on. Multitasking, cluttered mind, also trying to do many things, phone call, email. We are really just not equipped to deal with so many different things. And usually what happens is we are pulled into the thinking around the doubt and the fear and the negativity. Our ego wants to have power and control. So it's going to fight to be in that space of having power and control, which is the doubt and the fear and the negativity. How do we deal with that? Being present and recognizing that that's happening can be really helpful. Goal setting. Having the outcome goal and then having the process sort of roadmap to get to the outcome goal. You know, when you have that huge task list, you can have that if you want, although some of my clients are not allowed to have that for a variety of reasons, but you can have that if you want, right? But you can't look at that every day, because if you get up every day and you look at that, procrastination, feeling overwhelmed, talk about a cluttered mind and trying to multitask. No, you just can't do that. My suggestion, I think, with that was to pull out 2, 3 of the priorities on any given day off that task list, and those are your to-dos. And it depends on the day, right? Some days you might be able to do 1, some days 2, some days 3. And also make sure that you break those things off your task list down even further. I was just talking about this the other day with a client about how, you know, when I write a blog, for example, I can't just say I'm going to write a blog, because that on some days can feel really overwhelming. So I have to think about the topic, and then I have to think about the outline, and then I have to start filling in, and then I start writing, and then I preview or review, and then maybe do some rewrites. And that usually isn't done all on one day, right? Because that can be overwhelming. Like, okay. Sometimes just the topic can be overwhelming. What am I going to talk about? So those are really helpful things when it comes to dealing with a cluttered mind and multitasking. I love talking about multitasking. I really do. There's just so much research on how it's just so ineffective. And we're just not capable of it. Because if we're in one place, then we're not in the other place. If we're in our head, then we're not doing. And, you know, that's the same way. Like if you're given a presentation or you're in competition or you're in an audition or whatever it is, if you are there to do any of those things and you're in your head, then again, you're not doing any of those things really 100%. You know, and that's when mistakes happen and more mistakes happen, right? Because you're in your head. So, yeah. So the multitasking, it just doesn't work. And that just clutters up your brain even more, right? I use this example frequently about how, I don't know if you've ever read a paragraph in a book and been like, what was that I just read? I've done it. Many times that's because you've gotten distracted, you've lost your focus, you're off thinking about something else. And, you know, when you're reading a book, it's not a terrible thing, but when you're doing other things, like, it's not always that helpful, right? So the last thing I just want to touch on that I think could be really helpful, besides the mindfulness, the goal setting, the breaking down the task list, the last thing I want to talk about is having a routine to clear your mind before whatever it is that you're going to do. I mean, even sometimes when I'm getting ready to sit down at my desk and meet with clients, there are a few things that I do that can be helpful to get my mind clear and get me prepared to start to be there with my client. Yeah. So for you, it may be helpful to have like some small routine that you do before a presentation, before competition, before an audition, or before practice, or even if you're just going to sit down at your desk. So how do you unclutter your mind during those moments? Well, it sort of depends on each individual and what they need, but a few things that can help. Sit and write down whatever is going on in your brain, because if you can get it out and get it down on paper, it can be so incredibly helpful. Then your brain sort of lets it go and releases it. Taking some nice, deep, cleansing breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. There's another really coolio thing, which maybe one day I'll just do like a whole coffee talk on it, but progressive muscle relaxation, where you just breathe in and out of like major muscle groups in your body, meditation, music. There's a lot of things, right? I haven't really done a coffee talk on performance routine, so maybe I'll do that too, but getting yourself in the right headspace to do whatever it is that you're going to do. Again, even sometimes for me, sitting down at my desk or meeting with clients can be incredibly helpful. So I hope this was helpful today. And if you have questions or comments, don't hesitate to leave them here or shoot me an email and let me know. And I was just thinking today that I have been forgetting to mention, but if there is a topic that you want me to talk about, please let me know. Happy Monday. Have a fabulous week, and I will see you here next Monday. Take care. Be well.